Kayla?
Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto City. Hope you're all doing well on this Monday night. I'm sure many of you are recovering from the Super Bowl Sunday yesterday. One of the big things about Super Bowl is the commercials, and for those of you who watched them, undoubtedly you noticed the heavy presence of AI. This is just indicative of the current times and how much AI is becoming part of our everyday lives. Microsoft was showing off their Copilot companion, talking about how it helps empower everyone to reach their dreams. Body Armor poked fun at AI, claiming that they were more real, but still using it in their commercials to make a point. Etsy was shouting out their new gift mode, using AI to help figure out cool gifts to get people based on their likes and dislikes. And of course, there were the mischievous little minions using AI for creating memes in a little ad for their new Despicable Me 4 commercial. But the most poignant one to me was the Google Pixel ad talking about AI with the new guided frame photos, helping those with visual impairments. That commercial actually made my heart smile and my eyes leak a little bit. But I do love the fact that so many major names are embracing AI wholeheartedly and incorporating it into their endeavors. Speaking of OpenAI, it hit $2 billion in revenue back in December, and it's forecast that they'll more than double that in 2025. So, I mean, this is not just moving forward, this is moving forward full steam ahead. And it's projected that AI PCs, which are PCs that incorporate AI and generative programs into them, is going to make up about 60% of PC sales over the next year. So funny to think back on movies like I, Robot with Will Smith and thinking that they was so far in the future. Well, the future is obviously now, and it's pretty amazing. So a couple notable things this week in crypto. Bitcoin hit 50,000. Amazing. And there was also news that it looks like some of the FTX victims may be due to a potential recovery much better than expected. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out because things can change. But it does look like it's going in their favor right now. And Sam Bankman-Fried faces sentencing next month. So let's see how that all shakes out in March. And with Bitcoin climbing, there's a lot of chatter over whether or not it's wise to jump in and invest right now. As always, we recommend that you do what's wise for you, what's comfortable for you. Do your research and only invest what you can afford to lose. Yes, you need to, have risk to get reward, but don't be foolish about it. The goal is always to turn a profit, but be realistic in your expectations and also the amount of time you have for financial recovery. It's just like when you're doing your 401k or anything else with investments. Everybody's recovery status is different. So don't be putting money out there that you can't get back unless you have to spend. And one more thing that I wanted to mention to all of you is that during the off season, we started a Patreon for Crypto City. The hope is that with some financial support, we'll be able to bring on some more trainers to actually do training classes for all of you once a month. We have a few lined up already. And with the technology, as it keeps changing, we'd be able to utilize to bring you a better show. So there are a few multiple levels of support. If any of you are interested, you can always check out the link on our Instagram, or you can hit me up later on. I can give you some information on it. But we're excited to be able to enhance this show for the community. So now let's get to tonight's show. Our guest is someone who is working towards making a positive impact within the VR community and bringing people together across metaverse platforms. She's listening, acknowledging, and supporting her community. Please help me welcome Madame Tink to the stage.
Hey,
welcome.
Thank you.
Over.
Now you see, I gotta get this whole thing. Got to get this whole thing working. I got you. Oh, Lord. There we go.
And this is Ferrari is going to join us as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, bye.
It's on the back of the couch.
All right. I need you to get
it. I'm trying to. Okay, forget it. I'm just going to go post. I'm so sorry, y'all.
We don't stand on people punishing in here. Ma'am, I believe that this is a PG rated show. I think you do it, ma'am.
Ferrari, walk to the back of the couch and click on it from there.
It was too much tush for this couch in the first place. That's what happened. See how you getting up here messing
There
with these
you
people?
go. Oh my gosh, so funny. I love the things that happen in VR. So welcome to the
Listen,
show, you
I
guys.
gotta start with her. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. And I've only recently met you, and I feel like I've known you forever because you've just been so actively involved in everything, and you've really embraced the people in the community. But, when we first met, you actually told me a little bit about your backstory and some of the things that you've had to overcome personally in life that have kind of brought you to the stage you're at now. Do you mind sharing a little bit of that with us today?
No, I just celebrated my 10 years remission with you guys, and everybody, thank you for being there. I was diagnosed with an illness in 2014 called anti-synthetase syndrome. It is an autoimmune disorder that every 1 in 100 million people have. There is no cure for it. It has its challenges from interstitial lung disease to myositis to a whole buffet of things. Went through chemo for really aggressive chemo and then had to do IVIG infusions over the course of that time. Got to the point where I didn't want to take any more medication. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it was making me feel. So I did research on actually marijuana therapy and got rid of all of my medication. Went from that extreme, so I didn't want to get the treatments anymore because I had a port in my chest. That one got messed up. They had to take that out, put in another one. That one got messed up. To me, it was just a sign. It was just time. The port was easy and accessible for my veins, being destroyed from the chemo, but it was just a little too much. Every time I would have to, and I was still getting infusions 5 days a week, once a month. So that's just IVs in and out, in and out. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. We're good. We are good. So did some more research, got some sea moss, some turmeric, and different things like that. Went to natural remedies and decided to, like I said, replace all of the chemicals with marijuana therapy. And before I knew it, I was off of oxygen, CPAP machines, everything. And went from not being able to travel at all, from long distance driving and flying to flying, and I went to the Bahamas and swam the entire island. I promise you, my son, I literally swam the whole island. So it was a journey, but it was a journey that was worth going through just to get through it and show people they could be stronger.
That's amazing. And we just celebrated, like you said, Tink Day. That was amazing. We actually had a celebration here in VR for you to celebrate your journey. So, it was amazing, and there was a great outpouring of support. So, your journey into VR, like, what inspired you through all of the stuff that you were doing to say, hey, you know what? I think I want to put on a headset and get in there.
Resident Evil 4. I really just got this headset for. I'm a Resident Evil 4 fan. Well, 4, 5, and 6. 7 could go to hell, but 4 was like my favorite one. So when I found out it was coming out on the headset, I was like, oh, I geeked out. I was like, I gotta get this. I played it on every level and beat it on every level, and I got bored. So it was Keke Palmer. I saw one of her commercials, and I was like, what is this? Maybe I'll go on the headset and try it. I was bored one day, decided to come on. Went into venues, didn't know where to go, and then someone opened up a portal to the Spades room. And so I hopped in there, and there was a whole bunch of people in there that I met a few friends, went to Black Magic, met Malik. And then at first I was like, these people in here crazy. I got to get out of here. I'm not doing this. But she convinced me to stay. And once I started, coming in here, for some reason, everybody wanted to talk to me about something. Like it was crazy. Everybody just would want to talk. So I was like, okay, there's a lot of people in here that are broken. I went on a vacation to New Orleans one year, met with a priestess, a 75-year-old priestess, who told me that I was going to find my purpose in an unfamiliar land. I actually was planning on moving out of the state of New York, so I kind of figured that's what she was talking about. And so I never, thought about it twice when it came to coming in here. But then everybody kept coming to me, talking to me about stuff. So I started doing meditation classes and realized it's not that these people are necessarily bad to one another. They're broken. They're broken, and there's no one in here that honestly, not even in their real lives, that believes in them enough to say, I won't give up on you. So I built Melanated Creations to bring everybody together. And because in over in Horizon, when you open up the menu to go to Worlds, I got to meet a lot of people through, Spades and stuff, Cam, Tech, a lot of dope builders, but I would never see any of their stuff on the menu. And you would never see really our stuff on the menu. And it was kind of frustrating. So I got together and started Melanated Creations. And every week, any melanated creator that was dropped in the world, I would put their doors up in the sky so everybody could see it. And we would have a big party all weekend. And then we would take a field trip and go to their world so that they can start getting recognized for what they're doing here. So that's how it all started. And I wound up finding my purpose in an unfamiliar place.
I love that. That's such a great story. And I love that you came in, you explored the land, and you took inventory of what was going on around you and, what you saw as a need and, decided to try and fill that. And it's a beautiful thing about coming into VR. We talk about, people come in and some people are going to build worlds. Some people are going to host events. Everybody's got their own calling and their own purpose within here. And, it's great that you were able to see a need that was so selfless and community centered. I love that.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about, you started creating the Zen Royals. So this came from people you were meeting within here. And how did this form?
The Zen Royals was never meant to be an actual business. It was a family. We found our tribe with each other. I met Ferrari in July. We have not been separated since that day. And same with everybody else in here, my son and the audience included. I met him actually on Zepeto, and he started coming around to my bar, and I just felt like he was one of us, broken but loved, but broken at the same time. We share a similar bond with that. So we found our tribe, with each other. So it was a family, and we would eat together, movie night together, family night together. Like it was like and it's extremely important. Like we sit on, chat together for hours to get each other through our days. Like we do so much. So it was just a family. And then as we're sitting here as a family, he was like, you know what? We should go into this. I had more help with building a community. And it wasn't just a family that's just a bunch of people. No, they actually have the same passion and the same care about the community as I do. So, and they're fighters like me. Like we can't be bullied into feeling like we can't do it, or the community is giving us too much BS. They fight with me, and we fight hard. The days that I feel like a lot of times I can't do this anymore. They're wearing me out. She'll give me that encouragement and be like, listen, forget those people. What we gonna do is, and it's the same thing, we just have this unique bond with each other, and we decided to make it into a business with helping the community. And then artists start coming, and we switched up everything. We reorganized the plan. I decided to take Black Sands classes to become an LLC by the end of the year, because they put so much time and energy into it. I don't just want it to be where, okay, we're just doing all of this. No, we're going to profit from what we're doing, but we're going to do it with the passion that we started with, so, and I just needed the right group of people that could fight it out with me, that they're not going to give up on people.
You just mentioned Black Sands, you took her classes. So for anyone who doesn't know, Black Sands is a big part of our community as well. And one of the things that we've been seeing a lot of lately that to me is such a great thing is that people within this community are bringing their talents and skills and their education and knowledge into VR and sharing it with others to help them grow. They're holding classes on how to start businesses. They're holding classes for, entrepreneurs, accounting, legal stuff. There's all types of trainings that go on within VR to help you both in VR and in the real world. And I love that people are sharing these skills to grow this community and make everyone better, not just, empowered, but literally giving you skills to help you in life. It's a great thing.
a lot of it needed to be with connecting dots in here. When we started and Rupert recognized me, I was excited, like, oh my God, it's Metaclean Rupert, and he does exactly the same thing, except for Rupert don't like to, bring everybody into the room. He's like, listen, I can come up with the best plan, but I can't fill a room. And I was like, okay. And he was like, but what you're doing it the exact way it needs to be done. So with his guidance, it was like everything was fact checked with Rupert. But I was rough around the edges. So I had a potty mouth. And Rupert was like, listen, what you do is great, but you're gonna have to tone it down a little bit, and you're gonna have to control your temper. And I was like, listen, because see, look, sometimes they be trying me. He was like, I know you want to go Brooklyn and put your hair up in a ponytail and take your earrings out, but you can't do that. You gotta be calm with these people. And with his guidance, he did so much quietly for me, with me, backing me with things, from wanting to connect the Black Wall Street to wanting to create a whole network where, Black Sands, I had interviewed Jen Smash, but on 2 separate days, and realized they had a lot in common. So I started to connect the dots when it came to anyone that I meet. If it's someone who needs a build and they want something over here, I'm going to connect them with Kip. If they need a DJ, I'm going to connect them with Marcus. I'll connect all of the necessary dots, and it doesn't bother me to make the phone calls to make sure that's done. You know what I mean? So, but with his guidance with doing that and him backing me and allowing me to use his name to say, hey, and even coming in on the projects with me, to be on different boards with me, to show them that, hey, I am with, these people, they don't know me yet. They know him, but he would back me to let them know, no, she's very responsible and she's very strategic. Follow her lead. So to know that I had that from a complete stranger helped me know that I could definitely do what I need to do in this community. So that was amazing.
That's awesome. I love to hear that too. And we've had Metaclean Rupert on here before, and he's definitely a huge part of Horizon Worlds, but he's been crossing those bridges too. So let's talk about the people who are in the Zen Royals with you. There's quite a few members. So why don't you tell us a little bit, give us a little rundown of who's in there and what they're actually responsible for, and then we'll kind of talk about your actual business.
All right, we got my sister Ferrari Monet. That's my COO. She is my right hand. She is make sure everything goes well. My sanity is good and all of that, especially when we out here in these meta streets. You know what I mean? We have our head of marketing, which is the dream seeker, love of my life. I have to say that. But
here you go.
That girl doing the stage, mind me. Okay, no, I'm not wretched, but we have Dream. He's head of marketing because that's what he actually does in real life. So a lot of the, ideas when it comes to that, I run it through him and be like, hey, how does this sound? And he's very good with critiquing me because, I don't bully him. So, it's kind of like, listen, no, you get that's crazy. Don't do it this way. So then we have Shadi, who is my brother-in-law. He's head of security. So a lot of times when we're having different events, I'm not about to sit here and argue with anybody. I'm busy. I'm talking. I'm whatever I need to be doing in that moment. And he's very discreet, with doing things. So if he has to remove them, then, he knows how to do that in a way that's like, hey, listen, you're doing too much. You know what I mean? Kawan is actually my artist, my very first artist. So he's always been a part of the family, and he's helping me now with getting the things that my artists may need. He's on games like Grand Theft Auto and different things like that. So he's teaching them. He's going to teach them how to do that, allow them to use his beats because he has the rights to all of his music, as well as let us use his entertainment lawyer. So he's a really big part of dealing with the artist. Coffee just now came in. Coffee and I are the same way. Me and Ferrari started. We haven't been separated. She on vacation right now, but she's, Jesus Christ, I just got tongue twisted. Coffee is my managerial assistant. She makes sure all of the stuff that I need is done left and right. Then we have Mizzy. She just came in. She's the personal assistant to the artist. So she's the one who kind of keep their schedules intact, if they have a show or, whatever the case may be, she can keep them updated on their calendar because I'm busy doing other things. And then you have RNS. RNS is working alongside of Sherwin to do videos for any of the artists. And then, we have the thing going on with the sampler, that whoever wins the sampler to help promote their music, they have a music video, so he's going to be helping me with that as well. And then we have my baby girl Diamond. That's my miniature firecracker right there. She does the same thing on the side for as entertainment productions as Ferrari does. She's kind of the COO for that, but right now she too is on vacation, and with us being a family, sometimes we'll take on other people's responsibilities, so we just kind of all work in that circle together to keep it going.
So this started out as a group of people coming together, and it's now an organization. And everybody's got their roles. You're performing a function in here. You sat down, you saw a need, you followed it through. Now you're sitting here and you're saying, okay, we have these artists that we're taking on, and we're going to help promote them. But you've also been helping. When, for example, DJ Marcus has an event and he wanted some, artists to come on, you were able to recruit some of your artists and some people that you knew over in Horizon to come over into VR chat for this event. So there's a lot of, support all the way around. So not only just supporting the artists, but the people who need the artists as well. Exactly.
And it's supporting people in general. If it's an event that needs to be thrown for something that doesn't necessarily have to do with an artist, sometimes it's a little different, depending on who you are. You don't have the time for all of that stuff. So you need somebody to do the ripping and running here, the calling here, the organizing the teams, the committees for this. I have the patience. Ferrari and I will sit and we'll, do all of that ripping and running, and their events come out exactly how they want it, because we'll definitely put that same energy into it to make sure it comes out with your vision.
So now, in addition to, the promotion for the artists and stuff like that, I've seen, obviously, I see on the daily your, social media posts and everything. So you're doing a fair amount of marketing in addition to just trying to connect them with, events and stuff. How did you determine what services you want to do, and who exactly, other than musicians, do you have any other people in your target audience?
Spoken word artists. So we had some over there at DJ Marcus event, because a lot of times, especially coming from Horizon, they don't come over here often. So trying to bridge that gap between the two, the same way artists are very important with music. Some people just want to go somewhere and hear some spoken words. Some people are deeply into that. So it's just kind of connecting everything that involves entertainment, like the whole spectrum of it. We tapped into all of it.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the fee structures and stuff like that. Like people talk about monetizing here in the metaverse, and one of the things is what's a fair price to charge, and everybody's like, well, you're worth what you think you're worth. Well, that's true, and it's not true. I mean, there's got to be a level of fairness. You can't price gouge, or people aren't going to choose you. So when you're trying to start out, how do you not necessarily what the fees are, but how do you determine, this is fair and equitable to everybody who, based on what the market is looking for? How do people determine that?
It depends on what it is that you're asking of me. Now, if you're asking for my artist, that really is them. That's their energy, that's their time, that's all of that. So it's for them, it's a set price per song. Okay. For the artist. When it comes to doing everything else, it really, like I said, depends on what it is that you want. If you want me to do everything for you, and I mean everything, that's fine. You a world builder. That's everything under the sun. That's going to run a little bit more, but nothing that's so ridiculous that you're looking like, hold on, you would think this woman is renting tables from somewhere in real life. No, absolutely not. It's affordable because I know life be lifing for a lot of us. You understand? So I'm not trying to break anyone's pockets. I'm trying to make sure the same way I care about the community, I care about everything that goes on outside their lives. too. So, we can sit down because I've learned that with having things built in here. I might have one person that'll charge me a price that's ridiculous, and then I might have someone else that'll charge me something lower, and I'll find extra things to put in just to pay a little bit extra because I know that price may be hella different from the price someone else gave me that I know was trying to kind of take advantage. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
I'll just randomly come up with some extra detail that really makes no sense to even have in there, just to make sure I'm able to do that. So the same way I feel like I may have it, the next person may not have it like that to splurge on certain things. So for me, it's just based on the situation and the person.
So now let's talk about, all these artists that you've worked with. Like what was some of your, the more favorite collaborations or name some of the artists that you've actually watched grow and expand within here?
I would say Kawan, of course, because he was my first. But my baby girl, my sister, Yo Afro, see that hit different to the heart. You understand? That hit. I know the words to all of her songs. You understand what I'm saying? I'll bump Kawan's joints, but I came up in the era where Salt and Pepper, MC Light, and she reminds me of that. So all the stuff that I hear now, it really aggravates me. So when she's rapping, it takes me back to a happier place. So I'm like, in the concrete, you know what I mean? I'm bumping, and I even pop lock with her, like everybody got, but you know what I mean? Like the whole song is lit. So she is sick, she get on my nerves, but it's I love seeing what she's done and what she's going to continue to do, in this space. You can't go anywhere and play in the metaverse and not hear everybody saying, yo, Afro's in it. Like everybody really knows that song. Same with Kawan though. If you put it in the air, everybody's going to turn up to that song. Weirdo, the same thing. But I like the fact that, he keeps it switching up. We just got to listen to Look Around when we was in the Power Hour. That's the first time I actually had it played in here, and everybody liked it. So it's now just now that everybody's kind of used to his sound, I want them to get used to hearing different things of variety from him. So him, Yo Afro, Kaz is actually not my artist, but I love what he's done. I was just talking about his music earlier today. It's a vibe. Like Kaz, I have you just kind of sitting back, coasting, to his music. Mike Lowry is new. Fiji is my pain in the behind. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Fiji is always on my nerves. He is from Jersey.
Okay.
Yes, he is from Jersey. We got this whole beef with Jersey and New York all the time. But every time he comes around, he gives me a different challenge, especially when it comes to music videos for him. He's constantly dropping something. So he's a vibe. Angel and I, we're still, mixing things up because she stays so busy. But Angel's music, for me, it puts me in a trance. Like, I love her sound. It's like vocal lo-fi to me. So, I love the fact that she's going from singing to rapping, last season on the sampler. And it's just, all of them are really a vibe. I got to get Cannabis as a client. He came into the metaverse one day. And it was just by a happy accident, honestly, because they couldn't get the world to glitch. Wind up meeting him. And when he came in, he had all of these ideas for, his Buckingham Palace. And I was like, listen, let me introduce you to some other people then, because I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. You have these huge projects that you want to do. I'm only capable of doing what I'm capable of doing. However, you got a whole community of people out here that are super talented that can definitely help you with everything you want. So I wound up waking Kip up out the bed, Maddie. I wanted everybody that can connect him in the right way to come in and do this. So, now having him, he's been handling a lot of business, but he's going to be coming back next month, I believe. And then we'll be able to get started on some of the projects that we've been talking about.
Nice. So that's a lot of big names that you got there. And it's great to see that you've watched them grow and flourish in here. And I personally love seeing, artists come in here and take over this platform from, from a musical standpoint, because, it's such a great venue and platform, no matter which metaverse you're in. There's so many things you can do with music. Music brings people together. Put a world up, even if it's just a share screen, you're getting everybody to vibe together over this common thing. And I think it's great that so many artists are now jumping in here and sharing their talents in here, as as well as in the real world. So I think that's great.
Yes.
So let's talk about, all these platforms. We just said, there's all these metaverse platforms. We're here in VR. I know that you mostly were in Horizon at first, and there's a lot of different, we have got Cluster, we've got, a lot of us came from Alt Space. Then, there's other platforms, Second Life, different platforms that are out there. How do we bridge these gaps? Because you've been doing a really good job of trying to grab people from Horizon, throw them into VR chat, and vice versa for different, Spatial's another one that, that there's a lot of opportunities that many artists and even just many visitors, get pigeonholed into one platform, and they're like, nah, I tried the other one, I don't like it. But a lot of times when they don't like it, it's because they didn't have the right experience. So
exactly,
I think personally, you need to go there with somebody who's experienced it. Would you agree?
I would. We went to the first time I did the sampler with, was in the back room of the sampler. I was looking through the screen and I was like, this is segregated as hell. You have the Horizon people over here, you got VR chat people over here. I was like, that's crazy. So I started the vibes that her and I normally throw in Horizon. I started throwing them over here, just finding a really good playlist and putting on some music, and everybody's just having a good time. I'll tell, the Horizon people over there, that should come over here, blah, blah, because a lot of times when they came over here, they didn't have the best experience. So they was kind of like, nah, I'm good on that place. So I was like, no, you just haven't been to the right places. You have not been around the right people. And it was the same thing with bringing, VR chatters over there to Horizon. I was like, yeah, I do realize it's just the same headset, right? It's not really like you traveling across town. It's literally pressing a different app, but the fear of not knowing what's going on over there will kind of keep people separated. So throwing those type of vibes, and then, like I said, doing it across platforms. If you have good energy, everybody around you is going to be peaceful. Everybody around you is going to be good energy. I don't care where you are, either platform. If you're providing good energy, I promise you it's going to radiate around that whole room. And that's what wound up happening. So once I started mingling on both sides and bringing both sides around each other, they found they had things in common. They found they could still have fun with each other. It's no different, where it's not like we're alien and human. We're all the same, kind of people, just like, damn, just vibe out. So, once that started, it became a thing. And now I can visit either side and still have a really wonderful time. If Marcus is giving something over here, and I posted on there, people in Horizon now will come over because they realize it's the same kind of good vibes. Same thing with, certain parties over there. We was at, what was it? Club Colors. And Marcus was DJing over there. Yes. And it was the same vibe that's over here. It's just over there in different, graphics. That's it.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
Good energy depending on who you're around.
And I think that, if you bring the positive energy, if you bring people around for a specific event and they know to go into that area, it's a lot easier. Because I know, we've been in VR chat, oh God, it's been years that we've been hanging out over here. And the first impression that people have when they come into VR chat is that the entry screen with tons of little kids running around, and it's super, unnerving. You're like, what is happening here? Because you didn't know to go into private instances. You didn't know that you could hang out with your friends. And there's nothing wrong with going to public instances and meeting people, but you need to know how to navigate to get yourself away from the instances that you're not comfortable with. And so it's really having a guide, for lack of a better word, to take you into the places where you want to be. But if you know an event is happening, it makes it so much easier, because then you're like, oh, I'm going over there for this concert. I'm going over there for this club, for this party, whatever it is. And you go specifically to there, you feel that little bit of security because you're in an environment that feels more comfortable to you.
Yes. I think the first time I came over here and actually chilled was in the complex. Meta Queen Rupert and Yo Afro was over here. And it was like, oh, you should come. I forgot what was happening. But I was like, okay, I'll hop over. And Cyber Shay was there. It was the only 3 people I knew. So I was just kind of like, okay, it was a lot of people in there. Anxiety kicked in and everything. I was like, no, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do this. And then Cyber Shay took me upstairs to see her apartment. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. You know, and so I'm geeking out by it. And I was like, okay, let me ease up. Let me relax a little bit. But I did call my sister. I was like, hey, you got to come over here. You got to come over here with me. And then I think it was Soji had a birthday party. And I called her again. I was like, hey, I really want to go to this thing. But yeah, I'm not going by myself. I'm not going. It's no different than real life when you have that kind of anxiety. Like, yes, like who's all going to be over there again? So, you know, we went, and after a while, you know, we started hanging out a little bit, you know, back and forth, and started meeting more people and got really comfortable.
Well, I know I've seen you over here many times for events. So glad that you did decide to fall in with that. So let's talk about, you know, something that's actually a little bit challenging. The balance of friendships and business relationships, because, you know, you've got this group of people, the Zen Royals, that are your family, but also doing business. And there must be times where, you know, the tensions build over certain things or you disagree on something. But not only just there, also when you're doing business with people within the metaverse, you know, sometimes you might really click with somebody and, you know, you can grow with that person to create an amazing, you know, event or production. But other times it might be like, you know what, this is not the right person for me to be doing business with. And how do you kind of balance all of that and make the right choices?
Well, within the Zen, to be honest with you, we are very transparent and we're very vocal with each other. Like, we don't bite our tongues with each other, and that's healthy because we all know how each other feel, and we can feel the way we feel. We don't always have to like everything the other one is doing, but it's no different than when you argue with your sibling. I promise you, it's really not. And we can go there on each other, but we know at the end of the day, if somebody mess with her, or somebody mess with me, or any of the other ones, we all gonna come through. We could be mad as hell right now, but we'll be mad later. You know what I mean? So it's someday, you know, we've had, I know everybody in here know we done had like different people on and off. Some people bond with the family, and it's a bond with the family. And then sometimes it's, I want to be a part of this because it's a group that people know. That's not what we're here for. You understand? If you're not going to put the work in, if you don't show up, it's not like showing up for work, it's showing up for people, period. Because that's what we're doing. So if you cannot show up for people, if you don't have that fight in you, and this is something that you know we go hard for, that is a totally different thing. That I won't tolerate. That I will not tolerate. I will not tolerate too many turn-ups and public embarrassment, because it's not just me, it's not just the family, it's all the other brands that we collaborate with. That's, you know, they're, you know, people will go up to them, hey, you work with them, do you know that they did da 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 da? So now you're messing it up for future people that might need those collaborations and need those services. You're screwing up the community when you do that. That I will not tolerate. That's a definite, okay, you gotta get away from me. You cannot be around the group at all, because you will not mess this up for people that actually might need that much more than you think they do. So things like that, no. But anything else is sibling stuff that, you know, we may go through, but nothing too serious where we don't. And as far as business relationships with people in the metaverse, it's the same thing. I'm one of those people. Like, if we cross that line with me, you only got one time. Depending on what it is. I'm a very forgiving person. But that's when the fun, loving Tink goes on the backboard real quick, and the whole Taniqua is here. Because now you're dealing with a whole... Don't get those two twisted, because again, I'm not going to let you affect everyone else. So you cross me once when it comes to something. If I see you're moving in a shady way and it's going to hurt someone else in the community, that's something that I have to draw back from. And I don't care how great you're doing with your business. I don't allow people to hurt people and be knowledgeable of it. So yeah, that's a no-go for me. And I don't have to hate you. I'm not going to talk about you. I'm not going to put your name on blast and all of that stuff. I simply just, we don't have to deal with each other at all. I'll say hi to you in passing, but other than that, I'm good. It's energy that I don't need around me. I don't need around them. I don't need around anybody. So keep that over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I completely understand that. I mean, it is difficult to pick and choose who you're going to work with and who you think you can work with through the difficult times. And when you find that bond, it's great. I mean, like you said, you don't always have to get along. You don't always have to see eye to eye on things. But at the end of the day, there's a level of respect, and that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
You're also part of the Virtual Women's Alliance, VWA. And so that, tell us a little bit about what that group is doing.
Well, it's a sisterhood. It is our sisterhood. You're one of our sisters. So, I love being a part of things that's a part of the community. We have our different committees that we're working on and organizing right now to make sure we're able to do community outreach, mental health and physical well-being, help people with and promoting their businesses. So it's not just a, group of women that want to get together and hang out all day. No, it's a group of women that are mothering the community as it needs to be mothered, and we're doing it as a sisterhood. So, we pride ourselves on that. It's slow in coming. We have so many more women wanting to be in, but we want to make sure that foundation is exactly what it needs to be before we start taking more people in. But it's a beautiful thing. We have some great, powerful meetings, when we all get together, and we have a lot coming for the future coming from the VWA.
So everything that you do, from what we've seen, everything that I've personally seen, you can't hear me?
Mm-mm.
Can you hear me, Blue? Okay, they can hear me.
I can't hear her at all.
Yeah, I can hear.
I can hear you. I can hear Blue Moon. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Wait, there we go.
Happened.
There you go.
Okay,
there you go.
So, everything that we've seen from you and everything that you've been doing, and all the time that I've known you, everything you do is to try and help build, promote, grow, and nurture and nourish everybody within the community. And, it's a great thing that you're doing here in the VR community. And, I appreciate all that you've done. I mean, over this past weekend, you honored a bunch of people. Crypto City was one of the ones that got acknowledged as well for the things that we're doing to give back to the community. So I appreciate, the fact that you have, been being such a pillar of positivity for our VR community. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. So now if people want to get in touch with you, if there's artists out there, we have your Instagram and your website for people to look up. If they want to talk to you, where can they typically find you, bounce around between Horizon and VR chat?
Okay. You can follow me on IG at thezenroyals.com or Madam Tink 1980, or you can follow me. We have a website, zen-royals.com.
Okay. So if any of you are out there and, you're looking to get yourself cross promoted on different platforms, or if you're a musician and you think you might want to become involved with some events, definitely reach out, and maybe Tink can help you get connected in the right ways and get yourself where you need to be within here. So I really appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your story and telling everybody about your services. I've seen a lot of people that you've helped in here, and I think that it's great. I can't wait to see what you've got coming up next. I constantly seeing your social media promos of different events coming up. So I know that there's big things to come in 2024 from you.
Yes, tomorrow is Mardi Gras and Horizon. I'm Queen of Mardi Gras, and Juan is King of Mardi Gras. So,
cool.
And then the whole Zen Royal is the whole royal court for Mardi Gras tomorrow.
Nice.
So make sure you guys come through. It's gonna be a blast. It's in New
that'll be
Orleans. They
fun.
really took their time and built Bourbon Street. So
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
gonna
I can't
be
wait to see that.
amazing.
Very cool.
Yes.
Well, and then next week, we actually have our training week. Next week, it will be Kip VR will be here to train us on the basics of Unity navigation. So for those of you who are, maybe a little interested in building worlds or wanting to learn how to upload avatars, things like that, Unity is essential. And it can be a little bit overwhelming and cumbersome if you've never used it before and you try to do it on your own. So he's going to take some time with us to teach us, how to download it, make sure you've got the right Unity hub to work with. And then he's going to tell us about how we navigate within the software. So make sure you join us next Monday night for that class. That'll be the first of our training series for this season, and it's sure to be amazing because it's Kip and everything he does is amazing. So that'll be great to have him on. And thank all of you for being here tonight. Appreciate you coming out on your Monday night. We hope to see you next week. And thank you again, Tink and Ferrari, for being here with us.
Thank you.
No
Thank you for
problem.
having us.
Yes.
Hey. Thank